Hello and welcome back to Casual Gastronomy.
Happy birthday
to Casual Gastronomy.
Since it's our 1-year anniversary of Casual Gastronomy, we decided to pay homage to our first episode, which was Fancy Toast, and make Fancy Bagels.
So we're going to try our best to try and make Brooklyn-style bagels at home. We're both from New Jersey, and we know that the best New Jersey bagels are just imported from Brooklyn. And we decided to kind of spoil ourselves and make a lobster cream cheese to go with it. So it's going to be pretty simple, but I think it's going to be pretty delicious. Let's go. Looks like Aaron and Lauren forgot to ask you to like and subscribe again. If you do that, it really helps out the channel a lot, so we appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's get back to the show. This bagel recipe is a modified version of Mike Greenfield's bagel recipe from the Pro Home Cooks YouTube channel. Begin by dissolving 2 teaspoons of honey and 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast in a half cup of warm water. Then let it bloom for about 15 minutes. Next, to a large bowl or stand mixer if you have one, add 4 cups of bread flour, 10 grams of salt, 2 tablespoons of barley malt syrup. You can substitute honey or maple syrup, but this stuff is really easy to get on Amazon and it's worth it if you're trying to make authentic bagels. 1.5 cups of room temperature water, and finally, the yeast mixture. Now, bring it all together until no dry flour remains. Let it rest for 10 minutes, knead it for 10 minutes, let it rest for 10 more minutes, then knead it for 10 more minutes. If it's breaking apart on the surface after the first 10 minutes of kneading, you can add another tablespoon or 2 of water while it rests, then work it in during the second round of kneading. Once your dough is elastic and maintains a smooth surface, let it rest for 20 more minutes, then you're ready to roll out your bagels. To form your bagels, cut your dough into about 8 equally sized pieces, then fold each piece in on itself a couple of times and roll it against the countertop to create a smooth ball of dough. Once they're all shaped, simply poke a hole in the center and stretch it out a bit. It's okay if the hole seems a little bit too big because it'll shrink as the dough proofs. As you form your bagels, place the finished ones onto a baking tray well dusted with cornmeal. Now you can either wait an hour or so until the bagels puff up, or you can let them proof in the fridge overnight to really develop some great flavor by slowing down the fermentation process. When your bagels are almost ready, it's time to set up your bagel station. You will need to bring your largest pot of water up to a boil, add in 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of malt syrup. Make sure that you also have any toppings that you want on hand. Then, working in batches, boil your bagels for about 1 minute on each side. Sprinkle on your toppings. Then place them into a 500-degree oven for about 15 minutes or until they're golden brown and crackly.
For the lobster cream cheese, start by steaming 1 lobster tail for about 5 minutes or until it has firmed up and turned bright orange. Let the lobster cool for about 10 minutes, then remove the shell by placing it between your palms and cracking it down the middle. Then use kitchen shears to cut down the belly side of the lobster and then open it up and remove the meat. Roughly dice the lobster, then combine it with about half a stick of room temperature cream cheese, or about 4 ounces, the bottoms of 2 thinly sliced scallions, and the zest of half a lemon. After beginning to mix it, we realized that we forgot to add a few grates of black pepper. Then, after tasting it, we realized that it really needed a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice. After admiring the bagels for a little bit, it's time to plate. Begin by slicing your bagel in half horizontally, then place it cut side down in a pan over medium heat with a little bit of butter for about 5 minutes until it is buttery and toasted. Let it cool for a couple minutes, then smear on a generous amount of our lobster cream cheese. Next, top it with a few dollops of whitefish caviar and scallions.
Here we are, we have our bagels with lobster cream cheese. So excited to taste these. Gotta say, the bagels, not the easiest thing. We kind of tried a couple days ago to make bagels and wasted about 10 cups of flour trying to make these things. But we modified the recipe and these ones came out great, and I'm so happy that we get to share this really easy bagel recipe with you. The lobster cream cheese, also super easy.
Very easy, yeah.
You literally just mix everything together and it's done, but it's also super luxurious and bougie, just like us.
Yeah.
So overall, how hard would you rate this recipe on 1 to 10?
I would say like a 6.
Yeah.
Because the bagel makes it, like, brings the difficulty up.
The bagel brings the difficulty up for sure. And also because lobster is so expensive, I give it an extra grade of difficulty.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 7 for me.
Yeah.
Just getting the money that you need for this is difficult.
The hours that you need to work.
Just kidding. It's just one lobster tail, so it only cost us like 15 bucks, which is a lot, I mean, for a little bit of cream cheese.
Yeah.
But if you only do this once a week.
For a special breakfast, once a week. For like a birthday breakfast, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not overwhelmingly expensive,
No.
so super excited to taste it. As I've said many times, let's just give it a bite. In a word, perfection.
Agreed. Like, the lobster cream cheese is just so flavorful and rich, but the lemon juice brings down the richness.
Yeah, when we first tasted this lobster cream cheese before we added the lemon juice, it was like overwhelmingly rich and sweet. I forgot how sweet lobster meat was.
Yeah.
But when we added the lemon juice, it brightened it up and even made it a little bit less thick. It kind of thinned out the texture and made it just the right consistency so that it pairs well with that crispy, chewy bagel with that delicious toasty sesame seed vibe on the top.
I would say the taste of the bagel is really good too. Like, they're not, the texture is really nice and doughy, but not too dense.
We're not gonna lie to you guys, this isn't like some perfect Brooklyn recreation here.
Yeah.
I would take a Brooklyn bagel over this any day, but these are still pretty darn good.
Yeah, no,
Perfectly,
they are.
better than the ones you buy in the store.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So it's kind of, you're in like in between. Brooklyn is all the way at the top, store bagel all the way at the bottom, and then pizza bagel even below that. And we're somewhere kind of in between those two.
Yeah.
If we could just import some of that Brooklyn water, maybe we could get closer.
Yes. Someone please hook us up.
Hook us up with some water, please. Wow. I can't believe that it's already been a whole year since we started this show. Since we started, we have grilled, sauteed, fried, boiled, steamed.
We've gotten takeout from a Michelin star restaurant. We were there at the opening of Time Out Market Chicago.
Good memories.
And we've spent more time at Japanese and Korean grocery stores than most Asian grandmas.
Whoa, that's a bit of a stretch. Since we started, we have upgraded our camera gear, we've upgraded our editing software, and we've gained over 100 subscribers. That's a lot,
Yep.
and I'm very proud of that. Obviously, we are super excited to see where it goes from here. Needless to say, we're quitting! Psych! This is just the beginning. We are getting started here. We still have so many ideas of recipes that we want to make, restaurants that we want to go to, and old recipes that we think we should probably remake.
Yeah.
So we are not going to rest until we and our followers are all master gastronomers. Bye!